Imagine standing at the edge of a quiet garden as the sun begins to rise, painting the sky with subtle pastels. In this peaceful moment, you feel a sense of calm that so many people seem to lose track of as the years advance. Time moves on no matter what, and it is easy to believe that what lies ahead is a steady decline into frailty and limitation. Yet across the world, there are communities and individuals who defy these expectations by living vigorously into their 90s and beyond, sometimes reaching 100 years or more with minds still curious and bodies still capable of gentle movement. If you look closely at these individuals, you find that their longevity is less about some secret elixir and more about small, deliberate choices woven into the fabric of their daily lives. They do not rely on cutting-edge science or expensive treatments. Instead, they quietly follow certain patterns, ways of eating, moving, thinking, connecting, and engaging with the world that have supported them year after year until 100 birthdays have come and gone. It turns out that the potential for a long, vital life is often shaped by everyday actions, an accumulation of seemingly modest habits that, taken together, tilt the odds toward extended vitality. One of these habits involves nourishment and the relationship with food. People who reach 100 years often follow patterns of eating that emphasize balance and moderation rather than extremes. They rely heavily on fresh vegetables, fruits, legumes, whole grains, nuts, seeds, and other plant-based foods rich in fiber and micronutrients. Animal products, if consumed, are often treated more like a side dish rather than the main feature. The portions tend to be modest, and the meals are not rushed. In many of these long-lived communities, family members gather around a table, share laughter, and eat slowly, relishing the flavors rather than gulping their food down. This approach helps maintain a healthy metabolism, supports a stable weight, and provides a wide array of vitamins, minerals, and other compounds that protect cells from damage. By following such a way of eating, you lay down a strong foundation that can protect you from chronic diseases and keep the engine of your body running smoothly well into advanced age. A second element involves the subtle but powerful effect of regular movement. Those who live to 100 or more are often not people who spend hours in gyms, pushing themselves to the brink of exhaustion. Instead, they integrate movement seamlessly into their daily routines. Perhaps they walk through the village to run errands, tend a garden in their backyard, or take up traditional dancing as a pleasant pastime. Movement is not treated as a chore or an optional add-on. It is simply part of life. Even light activities help maintain cardiovascular health, preserve muscle tone, keep joints flexible, and improve mood. Over the decades, consistent movement can mean the difference between aging with grace and balance, or feeling trapped in a body that no longer responds as it once did. If you find yourself living a sedentary life now, consider introducing small changes. A short walk at lunchtime, a gentle yoga session in the morning, or cycling to a nearby store can accumulate into substantial gains over time. A third factor that emerges when observing centenarians is the importance placed on sufficient, restful sleep. While younger generations often pride themselves on how late they can stay up, how little rest they can survive on, those who reach 100 understand that adequate sleep is essential. Night after night, the body and mind need time to regenerate, to process memories, to stabilize emotional responses, and to repair cellular damage. Sleep supports the immune system, helps maintain hormonal balance, and improves cognitive function. When prioritizing good sleep hygiene, consistent bedtimes, a quiet and dark sleeping environment, and the avoidance of caffeine or bright screens late at night, you nurture resilience that can carry you through the decades. This resilience shows up in mental clarity, stable moods, and a stronger capacity to handle physical challenges, all of which become ever more valuable as the number of candles on your birthday cake grows larger. A fourth key to longevity is managing the steady currents of stress that flow through everyday life. Everyone encounters stressors, conflicts at work, financial worries, misunderstandings among friends, disappointments, and grief. Long-lived individuals often display an ability to acknowledge difficulties without allowing them to dominate their inner worlds. Some find solace in spiritual or religious practices, others in meditation or quiet reflection. Time spent in nature, absorbed in a favorite hobby, or enjoying deep conversations can help release mental tension. Instead of letting resentment or fear fester, these individuals find channels for understanding, acceptance, or forgiveness. Reducing chronic stress helps keep blood pressure in check, lowers harmful inflammatory responses, and supports a healthy heart. Over the years, this emotional steadiness prevents small troubles from accumulating into a burden that drags down your health. A fifth element, closely intertwined with emotional well-being, is the presence of rich social connections. Humans are inherently social, and communities where people regularly reach advanced ages are often communities where interpersonal bonds are strong. Family ties remain close, friendships endure, neighbors check in on one another, and local traditions bring everyone together at regular intervals. Meaningful social contact reduces loneliness, buffers against depression and anxiety, and increases one's sense of purpose and belonging. The simple knowledge that others care, that your presence matters, that there are people who would notice your absence and welcome your contributions, can have profound implications for health. Hormones like oxytocin, released through positive social interactions, promote relaxation and trust. Knowing you belong to a network of care and kindness encourages you to take better care of yourself, ensuring that you remain an active participant in the lives of others. A sixth dimension observed in long-lived populations is a persistent curiosity and mental engagement throughout life. Far from withdrawing into isolation, many centenarians continue to learn new things, stay informed about current events, explore intellectual or creative pursuits, and never stop asking questions. They might read books, share stories, learn new recipes, or try out novel forms of art. By keeping the brain active, you help preserve neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and maintain old ones. This reduces the risk of cognitive decline and dementia. Instead of viewing aging as a time of retreat, embracing it as a chapter of ongoing mental growth and exploration ensures that your mind remains sharp, flexible, and enthusiastic. If you build the habit of lifelong learning, whether it's through community classes, online courses, discussing ideas with friends, or simply reading widely, you keep your cognitive reserve strong, allowing you to navigate the later decades of life with clarity and insight. A seventh principle that supports reaching the century mark involves steering clear of harmful habits. Smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and diets overloaded with processed, sugary foods accelerate the aging process and shorten the lifespan. Long-lived individuals are often those who either never took up these habits or managed to relinquish them well before old age. They also avoid extreme sedentary behavior, pollution when possible, or other environmental hazards. By consciously choosing to replace harmful habits with healthier alternatives, you can prevent unnecessary damage to your cells, blood vessels, and organs. Over time, these small but consistent efforts compound, giving you more robust health reserves as the years accumulate. Even if changing habits feels challenging at first, the long-term rewards are tremendous, opening the door to greater longevity and a more comfortable, agile existence as your hair turns silver. An eighth factor relates to being proactive about healthcare and prevention. Long-lived individuals often pay attention to early warning signs, seek medical advice when needed, and engage in preventative measures like regular screenings and checkups. They understand that it's better to catch issues early, when they're easier to manage, rather than waiting until they've grown out of control. Being proactive in health matters is not about living in fear. It's about caring enough for yourself to handle small problems before they become major obstacles. Regular monitoring of blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose levels, and other indicators can guide your choices in diet, exercise, and stress management, ensuring you stay on track. Preventive healthcare, combined with an overall lifestyle of balance and care, helps maintain stability in the body, allowing the decades to pass without debilitating health crises derailing your journey to advanced age. A ninth key element is having a sense of purpose. For many centenarians, life is not a random series of events, but a story in which they play an active, meaningful role. Perhaps they dedicate themselves to family, finding joy in caring for grandchildren, or maybe they have a craft they have honed over decades, something that brings fulfillment and pride. Others volunteer, teach, mentor, or maintain spiritual practices that give them a framework for understanding their place in the world. Purpose acts as a guiding star, helping you rise each morning with an intention that goes beyond mere survival. This emotional and psychological grounding radiates throughout your physiology. When life has meaning, it influences your hormones, immune responses, and even gene expression, according to some research. It helps you persist through difficulties and make choices aligned with long-term well-being rather than short-term gratification. In other words, purpose can be a powerful ally on the path to living a full century. Finally, a 10th guiding principle is the art of moderation and balance. Extreme behaviors, whether in diet, exercise, work, socializing, or relaxation, can create stress and instability. In communities of long-lived individuals, it's common to find people who live by moderate rules. They enjoy what they eat but do not overindulge. They stay active without overexerting themselves. They maintain relationships without overcommitting to endless obligations. They find moments of tranquility and reflection to balance out moments of engagement and work. This balanced approach fosters an environment where the body and mind can thrive in the long run. Instead of wearing out your system with constant excess or deprivation, you maintain a gentle equilibrium that supports resilience. Over the years, this balanced approach creates conditions that help your body remain strong and adaptable, better able to handle the gradual changes that come with advanced age. By weaving all these elements together, an emphasis on a mostly plant-based, nutrient-dense diet, an active lifestyle rooted in natural daily movements, a reverence for consistent and restful sleep, the cultivation of emotional resilience and healthy stress management, the nurturing of meaningful social connections, a commitment to lifelong learning and curiosity, the avoidance of harmful habits, a proactive stance toward preventive health care, the pursuit of a personal sense of purpose, and the embrace of moderation and balance. You create a life trajectory that is more likely to carry you beyond what many consider the normal limits of longevity. It is not about a single magic formula. Rather, it is about the synergy that arises when these practices reinforce each other, gradually building a sturdy foundation of health and contentment that endures as the decades roll on. Such a journey does not promise that every step will be easy or that challenges won't arise. Yet by embracing these practices and principles early and consistently, you give yourself a better chance to stand among those whose quiet vitality and gracefulness in old age inspire others. Imagine being able to recall memories spanning a whole century, to still participate in community events, to teach younger generations the wisdom you have gathered, and to enjoy a sense of peace and gratitude for the life you have lived. Though no outcome can be guaranteed, every action you take that aligns with these principles nudges you closer to that vision. It is a long, steady path, best walked one day at a time, without obsession or pressure, but with gentle perseverance and faith in the potential that lies within you. Over the long arc of a human life, these choices can accumulate into something extraordinary, a life so long and rich that when your 100th birthday arrives, it feels like the natural outcome of 1,000 small decisions made in the spirit of health, harmony, and love for the gift of life itself.